So you see it now, right? I need to move this thing, move this thing out of your way. Okay. My point is complementary to what Jamie was talking about. I was just trying to expand Popper's idea a little bit, but it's not an ad hoc, accidental expansion. I'm intended to. I intended to just add a dimension of ontogenesis, how this thing comes from nothing. So Popper's three word can be said that word one was created by God or Big Bang, whichever you prefer. And word two grows out from word one. So it generated the whole evolutionary processes, generated human beings, and generated what we call culture and civilization. So, and the word three, I completely agree with Jamie. It's generated by human beings. So you call it artifacts, but sometimes it's just it's condensed ideas, accumulated wisdom sitting in the library. So, so my first slide says that first we have this a group of I'm going too fast. Back. I will. The first group is authors. They focused on the developmental processes, in other words, the ontogenesis processes. So we have Piaget there, we have Maslow there, and we have Bloom there, we have Kohlberg there. All they had focused on the process of how one thing builds up to another. And so follow their suit back in my PhD dissertation time, I developed this five layer of ontogenesis, like of our cognition system. So the first step is from blind to aware of something, namely obtained some kind of knowledge. And then among this awareness scope, I sort of developed my priorities and concern. I made a selection of this whole bigger set and into a smaller set. And the things that is the things I'm concerned about. And then from that, I developed the third, even smaller set of things that I committed to do or chase or inquiry. So and from there, I developed my capacity, my skills, and then I did some action, and those action generated something into word three. I mean, and word three eventually, I would say, merged with somebody else's word one. So, for example, if you consider your children at home, when they received all the information from the parents, and those information or those knowledge, or even that house itself, is kind of an artifact created by the parents. So the parents created the environment for the children to live in, to grow from there. So it's I think there is the linkage between word three and word one is that our effort created an environment for the next generation or for the others. So that's so here I would suggest that we replace the concept of observer with a more comprehensive concept I call OTA, which means observer multiplies the thinker multiplies the actor. Because you cannot have observation without thinking. And if you have done nothing, no action, even speaking is is action, writing a paper is action. So without action, the observer is also nothing. So we need to use OTA and build up a relationship of each of the individual as OTA with this purpose 3 words. So I think a purpose idea is kind of expansion to Kant and Descartes' dualistic ideas. So he simply changed the second, he changed the 2 black and white thinking into 3 entity thinking. Very similar to this concept, so-called 3D concept. As on this diagram, you see this is true from this perspective. And from this perspective, if you change your perspective, this is true too. And they may be in conflict. So it's an effort to build up a 3D cognition. So what we call truth is actually here. So based on that, I had this little model I call 4DST. The 4th dimension is time. So the 3 dimension is a structure, procedure, and the culture. And you can see that for every complicated system or very complex system or very weak problem, you can always have 3 approaches to look at the same thing. So I call it structure, procedure, cultural framework. And this can be united with purpose idea because the structure side would be the word 1 because it's there, it's a skeleton, it's something real. If for human being, you have a bio body there. For civilization, you have a city there, and you can touch it. And for the word 2, the 2nd dimension is the procedure dimension. Here is procedure means our mental procedures. So all of our imaginations, our mind works, even the living language, not the written language, but as I speak, I have a process going on in my brain, and this process touches your ears and triggers your process in your brain as well. So they are all procedure. And the 3rd dimension, we had some accumulated result we call culture, and all kind of untouchable but representable stuff there. So it's an effort. I think it's the effort to look at the ontogenesis process of the emergences. And we can do this on different levels. We can do it at the individual level or the group level. For example, in the group level, we do not have an OTA. We have a goal target: group, observer, thinker, actor. So we are currently running this club meeting as a GUTA going on. And further, people organized into organizations, companies, and even governments, etc. So in each level of linkages that we can all use purpose idea and this ontogenesis idea. So I just did a very simple categorization on each of the word 1, word 2, and word 3, I added some distinction to classify them into categories. We cannot do the measurement in the in the nominal scale. No, sorry. We can only do the measurement on the nominal scale instead of other high advanced scales. So just put in some distinction on each dimension per request for Hans von Forst, because I need to mention Hans. I think I like the best thing from Hans von Forst was the 3-word abstract, draw a distinction. So the effort is to draw a distinction, and if we do that, we got this table. So it expanded the 3 words into 12 words. And it could be more if you like. So if you like it to be more higher resolution, you can go further. But the idea is we need to make distinction between each word. For example, the word 1 part. The first, when I was a child, I directly experienced passively since I was born till today. That's everything I received from outside of me. And my second, the subcategory of word 1, the second word 1, is that I learned from a partial word 3 through schools and the books, etc. So that's what I obtained actively. And the third one is I created and made by me, or my team, or I organized as one participant, but I actually created an artifact here. And also there is a category that I do not know, I have not touched yet. It's on my blind spot. It's the I know part of my word. So that's the first separation. And for the word 2, you can similarly separate the imposed on me through education, brainwashing, all kinds of external efforts that made me believe, propaganda, and then inquiry from myself. So I think it's important to draw this distinction. And also I have the third layer, which is I dreamed, wished, I hoped, but it's not there yet. And also I have something that even myself don't know. It's maybe in my subconscious. Maybe my therapist will know better than myself. And for the word 3 part, also have the same distinctions drawn. So I wrote this to start, I think last year, sometime in August. And so I think it will be good to throw it out to discuss. My final slide says that the distinctions are important because between the first layer and the second layer, we draw a distinction between the word as fed to me versus the word I figured it out myself. And currently a lot of things going on in fake news, propaganda, and people have difficulty to distinguish propaganda with opinion and distinguish opinion with facts. So this distinction is important, I think. The second distinction between layer 2 and the layer 3 is about my subjectivity, what I have concerned on versus I'm aware of, but I don't care. And the third distinction between the layer 3 and the layer 4 is about the only open-minded versus closed-minded. So some people may not have the layer 4 exist. So that's about what I have to say.